Hey guys, before this video starts, I've got a free podcast masterclass on how to start a podcast. So click the link below in the description and I'll send you a 3-part, completely free video series on how to start a podcast. Okay, so on this section we're going to talk about how to use Zoom to record a podcast, usually an interview podcast, over Zoom. Zoom is a fantastic tool, obviously rose to prominence during 2020 with a huge amount of people using this tool to video conference due to COVID-19 coronavirus. And it is a fantastic tool for recording your podcast, not only audio but in video as well. So I'm on the main homepage here, and I'm just going to talk you through how to use it and how to maybe set up a meeting as well, and then we'll talk about recording, etc. So if we just hit my account, we've got a personal meeting ID here. Now I tend to just send this personal meeting ID to individuals rather than actually setting up an actual meeting with a meeting ID. Literally just send that personal meeting to them. So I'm not going to show you that personal meeting, otherwise I'm going to have loads of people on my own personal meeting, and it's kindly started it out for me. But if I just pause this video now and click that personal meeting ID, this one here, you'll see what it comes up like now. Okay, this feels quite strange because I'm recording myself being recorded, and hopefully I've muted all my microphones so we're not going to feedback. So a little bit of a walk around Zoom. So down at the bottom here we've got manage participants, and you can see that obviously I'm in both this meeting. Now with Zoom you get, as it currently stands, you get up to 3 people for free for 40 minutes, after which you have to have a subscription for it, and they start I think about $12. Now if you're recording just 2 people, so obviously I'm just here with myself, but if I was here with myself and someone else, then you can record that for an unlimited amount of time. So if it is just you and you're doing a podcast with someone else, then you don't need to have a subscription. It's completely free. That's as it stands. It may well change. So here we've got manage participants, and you can see you can mute, unmute. A lot of the times when you first log into Zoom and someone joins a meeting, they'll be held in what's called a meeting room, and so you can literally there'll be a button here which will say admit into the meeting. You can get rid of that by clicking the bottom right button down here and getting rid of the waiting room. So it says enable waiting room there. Click it and then you've disabled the waiting room. So that basically means as soon as someone clicks that personal meeting ID that you've sent them, they'll come straight into a meeting just like this without having to go into a virtual meeting room. So again, I would just send them that personal meeting ID and to set up your podcast interview. Rather than actually a new meeting, that sort of thing. You can do it that way, but that's the way I prefer it. Other little things down here are allow participants to unmute themselves, allow participants to rename themselves, and if every time someone joins your Zoom meeting and they're muted, then maybe it's because they are mute participants on entry. Now if you're having a podcast interview, that's not great to have everyone muted, so that's unchecked at the moment. Okay, so we've also got the chat button down here if we need to chat. So that's come in handy a lot of the time when, for example, my guest is having trouble with the microphone and I can't hear them, and I can type messages to them. Hi, I can't hear you. So that comes in handy. Other little buttons down here on the left, you've got the unmute button. So if, for example, your guest can't hear you, the chances are it might be because you're muted. Another, if we tick that little up boxes, you can see the different microphones and speakers. So if you are having problems with your microphone, then the chances are it might be because a different microphone is selected than what you want to use. You'll see there my USB microphone selected. That's perfect. I've got a webcam. You'll see the webcam just there. If I wanted to use the microphone from that rather than this microphone, then Obviously I can click that, and then the speakers, etc, etc. You can switch to phone audio, you can test the speaker and microphone if you're having troubles with it, and then some more in-depth sort of audio settings here as well. The video, stop the video, and then the video stopped. You can start the video, and then what we can do here is we can select the camera. So you might have two different webcams, for argument's sake. You might have your built-in camera and then another webcam. You can see my webcam quality is pretty good on this. And then we can even choose virtual background. So if you've got a podcast, let's download that anyway. If you've got a podcast logo, for example, and you want to use that as a virtual background, then you could do that. So there we are, virtual background. I mean, there I am in San Francisco. Okay, so some of the general settings here, again, they're all self-explanatory. So there's a few other things in there. Video. So if you're using your camera, you can select that. HD, if you want it not in HD, or enable HD. Touch up my appearance. I don't know if that makes any difference or not. Turn off my video when I'm joining a meeting. I mean, there's loads. So we can test the microphone, test the speaker, make sure that everyone can hear each other. We can share our screen as well, which I'll talk to you in a second about. And what's most important with one of the best features with Zoom is that you can record this whole conversation. Not only can you record it in audio, but you can record video as well. And what's brilliant about video is if you have a podcast, you can then create social clips, social media clips using this video that we've got here to push out on your social media channels. So you'll see here that these are some of the recording settings, but recording on Zoom is super simple. There's a button down here that says record, and then it'll come up with two different options: record on this computer or record to the cloud. If you've got a free version of Zoom, then I don't think you can record it to the cloud, at least not at the moment, because you have to pay for it. But record on this computer is perfectly fine. Now, if you are recording a podcast, the number one tip is do not forget to hit that record button. I did it on my second ever podcast episode where I forgot to hit the record button. And it's the worst feeling when you realise actually none of that conversation that you've just had has been recorded. So let's hit record on this computer, and you'll see the little record button there that will come up. On the other person's computer, they can also see that recording so that they know that they're being recorded. We can pause and stop the recording at any point. And we can also share our screen as well. So we've got a screen share if we want to show our guests something. Or we've got a whiteboard which will look like this. We can just start drawing. And then if we want to stop sharing, we just hit stop share there. And then we're back to the meeting. That is pretty much Zoom in an overview. Another interesting good little feature for you as well is on the top right, speaker view or gallery view. So speaker view, just literally whoever's speaking, it puts them on the forefront. Gallery view, it just separates them into two nice panels like this. I prefer it like this, how it's set up here now, rather than like that. So we've had our podcast, we've recorded our podcast, it's gone great. What do we do now? Well, first things first is make sure you hit stop record. So it comes up a little notification. The recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. So I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting now because we've had our podcast, we've done it. End meeting for all. And it'll come up saying convert meeting recording. And it'll start recording that. Sorry, not recording. It'll start converting that. Okay, and let's just make a new folder for it. Let's Zoom test. Okay. Skip. Okay, so here it comes up, and this is what the audio and the video will come up like. So we've got audio only. Now, Zoom currently provides you the audio in M4A file. Now that isn't the greatest file. We really want that in a WAV file or an MP3 file. All you need to do is go online and type in convert M4A file to MP3. I'll show you that shortly. And here we've got the MP4 file for the video. So that is what the video looks like. There was me. So there we are. So we've got the MP4 file. So let me just pause this video now. I'm going to take this M4A file and we're going to convert it into an MP3 file. Okay, so I've literally gone in here now and clicked onto Google, convert M4A to MP3. There's an online audio converter. We can literally just open up this. We can go to our Zoom file, which will be there, and there, yes. Audio only, Zoom test. Here we go. And we can open that. Let's get good quality. We want it MP3, convert. So she's just going to convert it. We're going to download it. It's going to download here. We're going to open it up. Now, obviously, I muted the microphone, so it's not the greatest of audio files because I didn't want any feedback. But that is how to use Zoom for a online podcast interview. Really great tool, dead easy. Never had any problems with it. It's free if it's just you and one other person, or you can get the subscription, which I think starts at about $12, something like that, $12 a month. Really great tool, fantastic for over interviews online, and of course everyone uses it, which is brilliant.